to the Be Your Best Self Life Planning Series. I'm your host, Lequita Brooks, LCSW. Thank you so much for joining me today. All I can say is I am overly excited about all of the upcoming episodes. During the MLK holiday weekend, as you all probably know, I worked a lot as usual, but I also took some time to relax and rejuvenate and just be like, just straight relax. So during that time, I sat and binge watched Amazon Prime videos. And one of the videos that I watched transformed my life. I began watching the Hugh Hefner story. It's called The American Playboy, the story about Hugh Hefner. And all I can say is I became absolutely infatuated with the life of Hugh Hefner, the things that he accomplished. And the one thing that stood out the most, it was tons that he did, but one thing that made me decide that for, I don't know how many weeks, but we're going to do a Hugh Hefner expose. So basically the evolution of Hugh Hefner and reviewing the docudrama and all the different series that went into his life. I think the series number 4 is the one that I made it to. I think that's what I've watched so far. And in one of those series, what stood out to me was during that time, during that climate of, racial issues and all type of things going on, he took a stance. Mind you, Hugh Hefner is a Caucasian male. So technically, it's not his plight. So it's one thing for us to make a decision to take a stance on something when it directly impacts us or indirectly impacts us. But it takes a special person to say, you know what, I'm going to take a stance for something that doesn't impact me at all. If I do it, great. If I don't do it, it doesn't impact me. So it says a lot about a person's character when they take a stance for something that doesn't directly impact them. And when Hugh Hefner decided to do the TV show, he had African-American individuals come on his show in the jazz industry, because in his mind, it wasn't about the fact that, they're white or they're black. He's like, hey, they're the best of the best of the best. And this is who I want to be on my show. And it doesn't matter that the southern states or the southern television shows are going to take me off the air. It doesn't matter that people might shun me because I have blacks and whites in the same room. He was like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. I want the best and the brightest in the jazz field. And that is what he did. He had 2 African Americans come on his show to mingle with Caucasian individuals during a time where that was unacceptable. And he took a stance for social justice by doing that on his show. And that spoke volumes to me. So besides the life and legacy that he's left, that is what inspired me to say, you know what? For the Be Your Best Self Life Planning Series, what we're going to do moving forward until I finish this complete docudrama, The American Playboy, is I'm going to pull out different nuggets and different strategies that Hugh Hefner did in his life to help him become the person that he became and to basically be his best self and to live the life that he desired. So for today, our first, and as we're going through this, I just want to say that I'm actually following the docudrama. So from beginning to end. So for each week, it's going to build on the actual docudrama. So at the very beginning, one of the first things I recognized about him was that he used imagination to escape reality. In the therapy world, for clinicians, social workers, mental health professionals, psychologists, psychiatrists, we will probably say that's coping mechanisms. Okay? For other individuals, they'll just say, hey, I just want to escape my current reality. I just want to get away from the life that I live to live a whole nother life that might not be real, but is real to me for this point in time. So as a kid, right? So this was something that was already in Hugh Hefner as a kid. He had the gift of being able to use his imagination. And he used his imagination to escape from his reality of his parents being the lack of affection and emotion and the lack of physical affection in his household. His mom and dad were probably great parents, but for whatever reason, they weren't taught how to love and be emotional and be affectionate and do all those things that he needed because of maybe how they were brought up. So then when they were raising him, he lacked that affection and emotion he needed at home. So what he started doing is he used his imagination to start drawing comics to create the life that he desired and the relationships that he desired and his own persona. At one point, he had a persona called Hugh Hefner. That is what he did to escape reality. So my question to you is, what do you do to escape reality? Our whole message with LCN Enterprise, our Be Your Best Self Life Planning series, is about us being our best selves. So for him to be his best self in that time and season in Hugh Hefner's life, he had to use his imagination to escape his reality, and he drew comics in order to do that. So I ask you, what do you do to escape your reality? Do you go to the gym? Are you a workaholic? Do you decide to consume alcohol? Do you decide to go mix and mingle with a lot of people? What is it that you do to escape reality? And then the next question would be, whatever you're doing, is that helping you to get to being your best self? I know for me, sometimes I will go out to happy hour. I love happy hour. I like going to sit at the bar. One is something that helps me get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I'm not a natural person to be an extrovert and go talk to complete strangers. So when I just want to escape reality at times, I would actually go sit at the bar in order to mix and mingle with complete strangers, and I will have, a drink and some happy hour food. Lately, I haven't been doing that as much just because it can be extremely costly, and I'm really being mindful of my budget for 2018. But that's something that I've done in order to escape reality. And when I think about my life and reflecting on life, I've become like an extreme workaholic. When there are different things that's going on that I might not agree with, I go ahead and I tap into the things that I know that I have control over, things that I know that I can get done, and I become a true workaholic. Sometimes it's because I need to get a lot of work done, and other times it's simply because I need to escape reality. So my question once again is, are the things you're doing helping you with being your best self? If they're not, I'm not here to say what's good, bad, positive, negative. You have to make that decision. All I'm saying is, if we're going to do something that's going to help us escape reality, it should be something that's going to benefit us. It should be something that's going to help take us to the next level. It should be something that's going to help us grow. It should be something that's going to help us be our best selves. So my challenge to you is to consider what you're going to do to escape reality. Is it going to benefit you? I know a friend of mine who's an executive director, he said, I love going to the movies. Because when I go to the movies, I get a chance to just let go of the entire world. All I have to do with the movies is just sit. I don't have to talk. I can just watch the movie, enjoy it, and just have fun. So, I challenge you. Think about what you do to escape reality. Currently, think about what are some things you can do in the future to escape reality. And are they helping you to align with being your best self? All right, so next week, see you, LCN Enterprise, Facebook Live. I'm Lequita Brooks, and we are going to continue on the evolution of Hugh Hefner's life exposé. So excited. I have about 10 weeks of material already, and I'm just on the first show. So until next week, be your best self.